Welcome to the Real Estate Reserve Podcast with your hosts, Jason Balin and Ian Horowitz.
What's up, Ian?
What's up, man? I was just looking at the last video we did August 28th, which we apologize for being a 30-day sabbatical, but and we'll go over that in a second, but I was nice and cleanly shaven, and now look at me.
Hot mess.
I am a hot mess.
Well, that leads us right into this, right into this topic, right into this real estate topic of, is life on a beach really what all real estate investors want? So we're going to dig into that topic today. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of interaction from anyone watching or listening. I encourage you to comment or tell us you want to be on the show and share your story. We're going to go through that in a second. So this is what we're going to discuss today. We're going to go through why this topic in general, why are we going to talk about this topic? And we're going to go through a story about one of us who took a little 30-day retirement recently. So we're going to hop into that a little bit. And then at the end, we're going to go through comments, potential questions, potential just, open forum. Curious to know what other local real estate investors here are doing. Do they, do they like this kind of the approach? And if so, what's their retirement game plan? What would you do if, you were ready to roll with it? So a few things. Why this topic? So there's a very big misconception in the real estate investment community. A lot of people want to get into real estate investing so they can buy a few properties, they can have some rental properties, and they can just retire, right? But what is retirement? What do you actually want? Does that mean that, hey, I'm just going to go sit at a beach the rest of my life and forget everything in the past because I've got my $10,000 of passive income coming in on a monthly basis, or whatever it is, $5,000 or $50,000, no matter the money, it doesn't really matter. The whole notion of financial freedom, is that the goal? Is that the goal? And I would challenge most people that if they get to the point and they work hard and they're successful and they get up to that point anyways, is that really what they want to do? So first, comment, questions. We'll put you on the show if you want. If you want to talk in front of everybody, we can do it that way, or just comment below to figure out what the goal is. And I don't know. We're going to see where this conversation leads, because I kind of know what I think works for me. Ian probably has some ideas of what works for him, and I think it matters and it differs based on who you are. But I would guess that most people think they want to just, hey, let's go retire and live on a beach the rest of our life. But I think most people out there want to be challenged. They want to grow. It's not just about getting to a point where the money comes in automatically. There's more to that. So Ian, let's go through this story. So first off, Ian took the last 30 days. We can use the term off. I don't know if that's necessarily the right word to say it, but tell us a little bit about your journey over the last 30 days.
Yeah, so like I was saying, August 28th was the last day we did a show, and I'm thinking it's probably the last day that I worked. And as you guys know, we did an episode on should I quit my W-2 job. That's been weighing on me a lot, mental bandwidth. We got a lot of stuff going on around here in the office. And so luckily we had the ability to rent a house down in Ocean City, New Jersey for the last 30 days. And I absolutely loved it. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to go away, you're just going to do nothing, and I think that's a dream for a lot of people, to be able to just go sit on the beach or, whatever you want to call it. And I actually found my, let's call it a journey. It was quite interesting. And I'll tell everyone why it was interesting. Jason, where you want me to go with it. But, I spent the 30 days with my family. With everything going on in the world, our one buddy, Mike Wagner, who we've interviewed before, I saw him do something about road schooling, and looking at all that, could you do your real estate business from an RV and live life on the road? I don't know. These are all things that were going through my mind. So I said, let's do 30 days and see what happens. I only came back to Baltimore for 2 days for this new deal that we're working on. There was a very important meeting that I had to handle. Other than that, I would say it was a pretty freeing experience. Although I will say what I learned and what the backside of it is, I think will actually surprise a lot of people. Sure, I had a lot of time with my family. Sure, I had a lot of time at the beach. Sure, I had a lot of free time, but there were some great takeaways. And if you want me to jump right into it, I would say number one is that the hypersensitivity to getting the work that you need to get done in a certain period of time, as most people do when they travel, was super powerful. And that's something that I'd like to take away and, implement on an everyday basis of being very hypersensitive, getting the most important tasks done, and then handle all the other crap. A lot of the other crap just kind of handled itself when I wasn't there. Number two, I would say the importance of our team, the fact that having the ability to do it and all the people were able to, fill the role and handle what they needed to handle. There was really no change in what we were getting done. With that being said, there was also this, I guess, I feel like I'm talking to a therapist. But anyway, so one of the other things that I did notice that I found is that as much as I want to go live on the beach and just be like, oh yeah, work from my phone for 10 minutes a day, and it sounds really cool. I think Jason, didn't I call you? I think I was talking to you that I feel like there's still a ton of drive left in me that I don't know that I'm ready to fulfill that lifestyle completely yet. And I think that was something that I was really caught off guard by, as much as be like, okay, well, I'm comfortable where I am, I'm happy. I could do this every day, and this is going to be the life. I want to build this life out. I actually found it kind of being a little bit numbing in that there's a lot of drive and a lot of things that I still want to get accomplished on a business level that I want to get out there and get done today,
Well, okay. Well, let me ask you a question. So let's back up a little bit. What was the original reason you wanted to do that? Number one, and it might not be one of these, but I'm guessing it could be one of these. So stressed out, just needed time to veg out, be like, I've been grinding for a long time. I just want to, not have to think about this. You had a kind of a gap in the year where you could spend some time doing it. It was the perfect time to do it. So you did it. Was it that, or is it more hey, let's try it, right? As COVID hit, so many people were working remotely. So many people were working virtually. So many people were operating their business. And to be honest, most people's businesses probably were better with COVID, not worse. Now that's not, and I'm talking real estate investors in general. I'm not talking about, other types of businesses and companies and things like that. I think real estate in general. Now, number one, kind of the market helped a lot of people with that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people's businesses, our business kind of stayed stable, right? It didn't necessarily grow because of it. So was it kind of hey, let's see if this works. Let's see if this is all cracked up, because we have friends that have, for the most part, retired, and we give them a hard time about it. And I know even as much hard time we give them, they're the type of people that are still doing work. They're still operating, but they're doing it remotely, and then potentially they're giving up their current team and they're operating as a kind of a solopreneur.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is mental bandwidth and burnout. We did just accomplish two very large deals, and we have a third one pending to close here in the next 2 months. And there was there was some stress from there, but I would honestly say it was my W-2 job giving me more of the stress. I'm sure some of the boys are, watching, talking to them over the past 30 days, oh, you're missing this or you're missing that. I'm like, yeah, but I slept all night. There was some burnout from that. Some of it was COVID. We were able to take advantage of a really good deal on a house that normally you wouldn't be able to get for 30 days any other time. And, with COVID, things are a little bit slower. There's not a billion and one things going on right now, despite the fact that we're actually closing, like I said, a very large deal. But in the grand scheme of things, it was it just feels like the right time. Like a friend of ours, Terry Royce, he, he's able to utilize his time well. He travels a lot, and I remember him going to Italy and doing a ton of deals. I'm like, you know what, maybe I could do it. So I thought it was a good time to take advantage of, because we didn't have a ton of stuff going on.
Yeah, no, all good things. And I'm curious what others believe kind of is the goal with all of this. Because I mean, I've talked to so many real estate investors in general, and I know kind of what they think the game plan is. And the original goal for a lot of real estate investors are just to become real estate investors or full-time real estate investors. I mean, a day doesn't go by that somebody calls me for a loan and they kind of apologize that they're not a full-time real estate investor. Like they think someone's going to look down on them because they're investing in real estate, but they still have a 9-to-5 job or some sort of day job. And I'm like, most of the time it makes sense to keep that job and have that steady cash flow. I mean, in general, you got cash flow and then you got windfalls or buckets or big hits. So, if you do the math and let's say you make whatever, it doesn't really matter, whatever the number is, $7,500 a month with your normal W-2 job, and it's consistent on a regular basis. And then you flip a house, you do a lot of the work every quarter, you make $30,000 every quarter on that. That's good, right? So think about it like this. Most people are like, oh, well, only if I could focus all my time on real estate investing on a regular basis, then I could just do more houses and make more money. And that might be the truth, right? But at the same time, well, keep in mind, now you got to fill that bucket of $7,500 a month plus benefits and other stuff consistently over and over and over, right? So not everybody has to or potentially even can kind of take that leap to do that. And that's okay. I mean, I'll tell you, the most successful people that I know over the years are the ones that had steady, consistent income over and over and over and over. Now, that could be business income, or it could be W-2 income working for somebody else, but they had their regular income, and then they were able to get, investment hits over and over and over, and those add up very, 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 very quickly. So at the end of the day, yes, that's a little bit different than this topic, but I think, in essence, people believe they want things differently than they really believe. And I like that you took that 30-day stuff. Like for me, I'm not ready to do a retirement at the beach. I'm still in grind mode. I look at it, I can fully embrace the rule of 72. I can fully embrace the snowball of business. And I'm still at the kind of go all in because, for instance, let's say you need, let's just throw out a kind of a low number. Let's say you need like $100,000 and you're good to go, right? And you're saving and you work really hard and you have $100,000 plus some free and clear rental properties that spit that out. Well, after you kind of take that leap and kind of go to retirement, chances are the grind, you're still going to have obviously stuff that you have to work on, but the grind might eventually kind of start teetering down. So that's going to be hard to build that up. And my opinion is, I already have the $100,000 now. It's going to be that much quicker to build and 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 build on that. So in the future, as that potentially stays stable, I'd rather have this stability and consistency up here than up here. But obviously, if you hit whatever that number is, there's always a number that makes sense. Yeah. But I just personally, I'm still kind of at the grind all in phase to try to build that bigger, especially since, let's be honest, there's still going to be a lot of uncertainty as to what's going to happen in the market.
Right.
Very, very, very soon.
Right. Well, should we run this like the debate? Should I just start interrupting you and just go back and forth and we need a moderator? Excuse me, sir. No. But seriously, like and to go back to your point of one of the things I did realize over the past 30 days is that, well, the desire to quit my W-2 job is there for health and other reasons. It really makes you realize that real estate investing is there to, if you're not a full-time real estate investor, and I guess you could quasi-call that I am one, but I'm also a W-2 guy, is that it's about replacing your income. And if you slowly build it, like I just met a guy this morning, he's like, man, I can't believe you got to, the size portfolio you guys have now. How'd you do it? I was like, I don't know. It just kind of happened overnight, and if you consistently grind on it, it's going to happen over time. And I think part of it is, you're planting seeds. It's almost time to harvest them. Don't be premature. Don't let, make sure the fruit is fully ripe and harvest it when it's time. And I think I think with all the social media out there, everything that's going on, you see people all the time, oh, I'm doing this or, oh, I'm doing that. You don't know how they're financing that. You don't know what their lives are like behind closed doors. There's no need to compare to other people. You need to do what's right for you. And on my 30-day journey, I thought I was going to find out that I loved like not working and it felt so good. But I kind of relate to what Rich said up there. And I know we'll get to the comments, is that I was like, shoot, man, like, I don't know if I'm conditioned to be busy or I miss that in my life. And as towards the end of it, I was like, dude, I want to go out and search and find another deal. Like, I want to get this one closed. Like, I'm pumped to do the deal that we're working on right now to get it closed and get through the finish line, and the refinance we just did, finish up taxes and all that other stuff. I'm like, man, I'm actually excited to do all this stuff because I want some stuff in my life. And thanks, Snyder. Thanks for the comment on the beard. I'm trying to be like you, retired life. So
but also think about it like this. Like, most people don't do like a little 30-day journey that you did, but like they do short mini vacations or mini retirements or something, long weekends or a week. But think about how many people, think about yourself. You go away for a week and you're like, hey, I can't wait to get back. Now, a lot of the times people can't wait to get back because they're overwhelmed and they're stressed out because they have so much work. But sometimes they just want to get back to the grind and keep your head keep your mind, flowing through with positive things. So like, I mean, I know for a fact that like I could go away for a week and everything will be fine on autopilot. And yeah, I need to work, an hour or so a day to do it. But like, that's transactional stuff. So many people that disappear for a short period of time and they can't get a grasp on things when they come back. That's because their businesses aren't structured the right way. If you structure your business the right way and you're only working on the right things and the growth things, your transactional work should only be a short part of every day. My whole thing is like, I know that, hey, if I go to a trip, whatever it is for a week, I can get by with an hour or two a day, no problem. What lacks is the growth stuff that I'm focused on a regular basis. Marketing efforts, new processes, managing people, whatever the case is. The growth stuff is what lacks. And again, within a 1 week time frame, that's not going to affect anything, right? If I'm not putting some new marketing campaigns together and monitoring original marketing or growth campaigns, that's not going to affect anything short term, or long term for a week. With a long period of time, it will, because obviously the money we're making today is the hard work we put in yesterday, right? So right. A week here and there is not going to be a problem. But, and if I disappear for, let's call it a year, the business will still operate very, very well for a short period of, for a while. But then, down the road, if I'm not putting enough fuel in the fire, potentially things could fall apart.
And I think that's where some of it comes out of, like, we all talk about when you go away, whether it's for a week, for a conference, for whatever, that 30 days, it was like, all right, hyper-focused once in the morning, once in the midday. And, once I get back from the beach or after everyone goes to bed, it's like, you know what, I'm hyper-focused. I get done what I need to do in a shorter period of time. And I can start to let my mind travel and think about, okay, well, what can we do about this? Or what can we do about that? I think you get some clarity out of it. I do agree that over a long period of time, I would question growth goal, based on where your business is. Do you still get that same exponential growth? And it's also kind of like, what is that? Like a metaphor almost to, like, when a business is in growth mode and it's in stabilization mode and the entrepreneur can't really handle, the day-to-day operation when they're a visionary type person. It's kind of like a similar type thing. And it's an interesting transition to go through. I know I had a lot of trouble with it, like when we transitioned from doing a lot of deals to slowing down, really concentrating on doing our portfolio, working on the same thing over and over and over again. Like, that's not me. Now that we're back in the growth, I don't want to say growth mode, but we're actively looking for deals because everything else is, for the most part, stabilized. Now it's new projects. It's maximizing our management efforts. It's getting deals done. Doing everything more efficient. So
yeah, and also a big thing is this: like, you either like the grind and respect the grind and are good at the grind and you do it because that's what you want to do, right? If real estate is hard work, is doing deals hard work, and you're not into it to begin with, honestly, you're not going to make it to begin with, right? Because the successful people are the ones that do this. I mean, my business is my hobby. It's what I enjoy doing. If I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not going to be good at it. Number one, I'm not going to do it. Number two, I'm not going to be good at it. We're good at what we do because we like what we do and we enjoy what we do. So if you're just kind of jumping into real estate because you can make fast money, or you can, do some deals here and there, anybody can. I know a lot of people that have enough skill sets that they can make, their 6 figures a year, but they're just not capable, and they don't want it bad enough to ever make more than that. They're sales guys that could go out, they could sell some real estate, they could flip some houses. They always can figure out a way, to put some funds together, and I appreciate it, and it's fine. But they'll never get or amount to much more than that because they just don't have the hustle. They don't have the grind. They don't want it. And, they're only thinking about it. They only think about, hey, how can I make my next dollar? How can I do my next deal? I mean, deals come. Deals money are a byproduct of the grind and the hustle that we all do on a regular basis. And, if we don't love it and we're not into it, it's just not going to work. Go find another industry. And the important part is to be true to yourself. Like, you could straight up be like, hey, listen, my goal, it's straight financial. All I want to do is, buy a few houses, get them all free and clear, work my day job, get them all free and clear, and make my $5,000 or $10,000 a month on autopilot. And I'm not against that. That's fine. But that's, that only goes so far, and it depends on who it is. So, all right, so let's go through a few of these real quick. So we got one game plan goal. Goal is to get 100 doors, $15,000 a month in net cash flow. Great goal. Currently, he's wholesaling and keeping the best cash flow deals for himself. Assuming that's Philippines, using Philippine VAs, I'm guessing, to scale and eventually, fire himself. That's his goal. Great. Again, like, nobody can write your own goal. You got to be true to yourself and figure it out. And it's good.
Yeah, no, and I actually skipped over to Terry's house. I was able to take the ferry over there and able to attend a small event that he hosted at his house, a mastermind event. One of the common themes that came out of it is taking the time to write down your goal. Like, if I went out and found, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, but Ka, and I said, so what's your goal? It sounds like you got a defined plan and you know exactly where you want to go. And I think that goes a long way. And I think that takes away a lot of trouble for people to actually have a written goal, where most real estate investors just start to get into it. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, because it's very easy to go from I'm replacing my W-2 income to I want a G5 jet, right? Like, well, what do you want? Take the time to write it down and figure out exactly what you want. And I think that's awesome that you conceptualize that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, one thing, and you don't have to take this as advice. This is my personal opinion, but I believe right now is the time to go all in with some of this stuff. And the reason why is we're at a transitioning spot in the market. And one might think that the market's going to continue to go up and interest rates continue to go low. Stay low. There's obviously lots of signs that indicate that, but that might not be the case. And unfortunately, like, now is the time where it's like, cool, what's my game plan? Am I growing? Am I kind of executing better on my current deals? Am I playing defense? Got to kind of have to figure that out. My concern about some people, not necessarily retiring, but like saying, okay, well, I have a pretty good portfolio, stable portfolio right now. I'm out, or I'm gonna go in a different direction. Again, like, I'm not against that, but just make sure you kind of have the resources in place if something does happen and your portfolio depreciates, or it's harder to get liquidity in the future. I mean, as we grow businesses, we all have momentum. Momentum's the key, right? I mean, I could do another 20 loans tomorrow in my sleep overnight with no additional work because I already have the vehicle in place. You could go add another few hundred units to your portfolio because you already have that in place. If you decide to kind of say, hey, I'm at a good spot right now, I'm just going to retire and let it be, and you lose the momentum and you lose the resources and you potentially lose the relationships, and I'm not saying losing them, but you don't have them in place, it might be hard to kind of ramp up or pivot as needed. So again, I think now that's important because who knows what's going to happen. Like, let's say, you have a really strong portfolio and it's cash flowing very, very nicely, and then the market kind of bottoms out. There's no liquidity. All your 5-year loans are called. You can't get more cash. You can't refinance them. I'm just, being, devil's advocate on this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, my cash flow is lower. I need to go find more cash flow. Plus, I need to go replace some of my income buckets. And you have a hard time doing it maybe right now because you don't have the momentum, you don't have the setup you have. So I would just say, in my personal opinion, right now, like get over the hump, get over the hurdle. Just keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the market and try to get over it. And then again, you can make generational wealth very, very quickly in the matter of a few years if you get yourself in a good position. The hope is, potentially, the market softens slightly without obviously, anything bad really, really happening quickly, but it could. The market softening, people get out of the game, and there's just cherry pick deals everywhere. And the people that have the resources and are well capitalized right now will be able to get them. And those deals, and don't get me wrong, those deals are out there right now, currently, as we speak. So I'm not saying pass up on good opportunities now if you have them, but in general, be prepared. And I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not saying it's the right opinion. I'd like the Terry Royce of the world to hop on here. I'd like to get his opinion because he's got some good insight and real life opinions of these things as well.
Yeah, before we go to Rich's comment, go down to Cog because I know we were just talking with him. Sorry if I missed butchering your name.
Wait, which one?
Very last comment. No, one more. And bet on myself for the family. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to Terry. Obviously, you guys have been watching. Me leaving my W-2 has been a great debate, and this kind of goes hand in hand with everything that I just did over the past 30 days to see what life without the fire department would be like. And Terry of all people, I mean, the guy, he's always got them one-liners. So we're smoking a cigar. He's like, "So you'd rather not bet on yourself?" And I was like, "You are an asshole, dude." Like, that is the comment of the year. Like, it is that saying should be on everyone's mirror. Like, you'd rather not bet on yourself? Like, bet on yourself every single day and you'll be fine, man. Like, I literally need to have that quote. It's the third or fourth time I've heard that quote. I appreciate you bringing that back up. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, and that was the same thing with Fastlane Millionaire Fastlane book. That was like, big takeaway for a lot of people. It's, there's no get rich kind of quick. The majority of the stories in that book were related to, hey, I make good money, I'm investing my money, and in 30 years I can retire. Like, that's not the game plan. The game plan is go all in on yourself right now, reinvest your money in your business over and over and over and over and over and over, and fast forward the entire process. And it's possible, but so many people just don't want it bad enough, I guess.
I think we need to get your boy Rich on here, man, because it seems like he's living this life right now and enjoying it. But his middle comment, the one where it says the deal guys always want to be deals, and he says a neighbor of his who's worth $50 million, he always talks about the next building, and and it's in your DNA, and I think that's true. I think it truly is that there is something that's wired in you, or you can condition yourself to say, I'm going to go out and do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And like you've always talked about your hard money business, to you, it's a widget, right? You're just turning the cogs in the wheel. And when I was at that mastermind, was another theme that came up is like, if we all owned McDonald's, we would all be uber successful at owning McDonald's. And if we owned a car dealership or whatever it is, we would all figure it out. And I think that also is a very powerful statement that Rich made as well of, it's in your DNA, and, the guys that want to do deals. And he also comes to the point of, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but me and Jason talked about it a lot, is I don't think we'll ever retire. We'll always be involved in some sort of deal going forward, and there will always be that live action for us, how you utilize that live action to fulfill what you need. It's just good to see that old people do deals too. So
yeah, I mean, listen, if you're chasing money, it's gonna be hard to catch it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So. And so so I don't know. I mean, kind of the whole thing related to, I don't know. It's interesting to me. The whole thing related to, and again, I'm not saying like retirement's getting out of the game, it's not, but I feel like the term momentum to me is strong in this place. It's, you already have momentum right now, continue down that path and do it until you really hit where you want to hit. And if you've already hit where you want to hit, then that's fine. No one can tell you what that is. It could be $10,000 a month. It could be $1 million a month. It It can be more. It can be whatever. It doesn't matter. And it's not just dollar figures. It's the amount of units. It's whatever status. However you personally want to see it. And I think so many people just aren't true to themselves and they don't fully get it. And it's not easy to, and things can change. Things can change.
And it goes back to defining what your goals are, right? Like if you define what you want your retirement to look like, then do that. If your retirement looks like I still want to do 5 hours of work every day and I still want to grind out hard money deals, then do it, right? Like if you define what you want, then you can go out and execute. And
and I would guess that most people, they're just stuck inside their business doing too much transactional work, playing defense all day. And that's where this comes from to begin with. I mean, if you're a real business owner and operator, you have staff, employees, virtual assistants, systems, processes, things in that to handle it. I mean, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of very large businesses, with a lot of top line and bottom line revenue that have very small operations. And they have very small operations because they have good partnerships, they have good employees, they have good systems, they have good processes, and they know what works for their model and which one and what doesn't. I mean, real estate investing in general, everyone wants to just chase around any deal they can get their hands on. Well, what deals do you really want? Like, what deals work in your model or not? Like, I know on my hard money loans exactly what works and what doesn't work. And unfortunately, if I can't help somebody, it doesn't work for our business model. It's nothing against them. The deal either works or it doesn't work for our model. And we don't have a huge staff. And we can continue to do more and more business. So like, it's the same thing. So many real estate investors are doing a lot of the hard work themselves. They're involved in so many aspects of it. They drive themselves crazy and, I haven't taken a vacation, or I haven't done this, or I haven't done that. And, that's on them. If they don't want, if they want to be a Gary Vee and not take a vacation and just grind all day and that's in your DNA, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, you can't complain about it if you want to. So, I mean, personally, I don't want to disappear for 30 days. I don't think that potentially is something I'm interested in right now. I don't see there's enough value. I like doing, short-term mini vacations here and there, unwind, things like that. Like, to me, that works. But again, it just depends on who it is. I mean, I've talked to multiple people about this. People that I know that have friends that have beach houses. Like, what am I going to do at the beach all year? You're going to be chasing around your kids all year, like the whole time, right? If you live on a canal, if I live on Terry Royce's canal, I'll wake up in the morning, my kids will be in the canal. I'll be jumping after them. Like, that doesn't seem like fun. Like, you want to mold things around your lifestyle, what works for you in the right time, right? When your potential kids are older, or when whatever you're in a position that you want to. I'm not stating like grind, and then let it all go when you're 90 and you can't enjoy it. This isn't about enjoying and not enjoying, but I believe that every successful real estate investor I know, like really successful one, they enjoy what they're doing. They enjoy the business, and if they want to get away from it, they can, but they choose not to because they like it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't share Instagram thoughts, but over here on Instagram, we've had a few comments.
Yeah, you can show us your screen.
Let's see. I love your beard. Do I have a corona cough? No, I woke up with allergies or something. Someone said, F the beach. Too much sand. And the guy that's saying that, I do know he lives right on the beach, and I can respect his opinion on that. So, but either way, man, it's I'll be happy to share my experience with anyone. I hope I got as many thoughts as I could out on it. It was an experience. I think I'd be open to doing a 3 to 4 week stay.
Once a year?
Yeah, once a year. I'm not a big every week type of guy. I'd rather just get it all over and done with, and it was good just to take a mental break. But I think I need a lot of mental clarity where I'm at in my life and in my journey. And who knows? Maybe we'll talk about it again here in the future. So,
yeah. No right or wrong answer, right? That was the point. That was the point of all of this. There's no right or wrong. It's just depending on who it is for yourself. I can tell just from talking to a lot of people that what they verbally say their goals are and what they want are just way different than I think they really believe. But more importantly, it's different than what their actions state, right? The whole, like, you want it bad enough, go do it, right? Chances are you might even be working remotely right now anyways. Go live somewhere else if you want it bad enough. I think people think they want that.
Yep. And I nobody can tell you what you can.
This is Aaron Foster. He's doing it in our Facebook group, not our page, so it doesn't show up. I haven't read this yet, so we'll read this out loud. Nobody can tell you what you can do in your life because nobody knows everything about your situation. The stress of your W-2 isn't like the average person, so you need mental breaks once in a while, or be like me and get transferred to a slow house.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, battery's dying on Instagram, so I gotta get off of here. But yeah, I agree, man. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff weighing. There's a lot of stuff. What do I do? Where do I go? Just a lot of talk. Aaron knows what city I'm in. Obviously, most of you know what city I am in, and there's just a lot of other stuff that goes along with it. So, with that being said, I don't know. We'll continue this journey and see what happens. I'm living it day to day. I'm an open book here. So.
Yeah, you are. And we're gonna do another live soon about an upcoming pretty large local project, and we can do a little case study related to that.
Am I involved in this project?
You might be.
Oh, all right. I didn't know.
You might be. We could potentially share, share some things. These case studies are great. If anyone ever has a good case study related to a real estate deal, even if it's a bad case study, hop on with us and we'll share it. I think that's how people get the most value out of things, is what real life situations are going on, where you found a deal, how you financed a deal, what your game plan is for the deal, things like that. I think there's a lot of value. To that.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go drive down 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I don't care what your political affiliation is, and we should get Mr. Donald Trump on here and discuss his income taxes, right? The advantage of owning real estate. So maybe what we'll do instead is get the accountant on here. I know Jeff's finishing up tax season's just about done, and he's agreed to come on. So after October 15th, we should be able to have a real tax discussion, and people can see how real estate works to their advantage and potentially offset some of your income. So,
cool, man. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I gotta pee, so let's get this thing done, man.
Cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see everybody else soon.
All right. See you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm